Hey everybody, Gregor Arturo here. So, what I've been wanting to do for quite a while is to build something epic. Epic is a good word because that's the best word probably to explain what's happening now. I was a classics major. I left the university. It wasn't suited for me. But with classics, there's Greek comedy and tragedy and epic, and really what's happening right now is all three. But epic nonetheless. It's very epic. Things are unfolding like never before. And so, something to explain quickly in terms of epicness is the Mayan calendar, and the Mayan calendar that John Callahan encoded, and Ian Lungold propagated that information. As I've mentioned before, Ian Lungold gave his last lecture before he passed away at my friend Walker's ranch, Mago's ranch, in Sedona. And hello, Walker. And it's interesting, I was reading the Flower of Life books tonight and got onto the part about the labyrinth. I couldn't stop thinking about my experience in your labyrinth. It was wonderful. And, well, this calendar. A lot of people think about the calendar that ends on December 21st, 2012, the long count. There's another long count calendar, fractal long count calendar, and it ends October 28th, 2011. It lines up with the Tolzian calendar, which is one of the four calendars, and this is a 260-day calendar, 13 months with 20 days, and there's 20 symbols in those, one for each of the days, in the months. This is more of their astrological calendar, their sacred calendar, and my sign of those 20 days is a human. Human is one who manifests, utilizes free will, and that's what I've been doing this whole time, is pushing free will to the limits, and trying to help many people break free from the matrix as possible. It's breaking free from the patterns, because we are just basically a computer program, these cycles running over and over again. It's through awareness, self-awareness, that we can break free from these cycles and choose how we want to manifest this reality, how we want, and that's free will. And so, the calendar is in 9 periods, and each period gets consecutively smaller. Each period experience gets compressed more and more. And we went into the 9th cycle, the final cycle, March 9th. 2 days before less than 2 days, really, before the earthquake in Japan. And the 8th cycle began January 4th, 1999. It's about 12.8 years, and each of these cycles are divided into 13 periods, or 13 tones, which relates to my Fibonacci golden scale. You see it on you can look through my YouTube videos. It's one of my best, explaining the 13 tones you can find in the Fibonacci sequence. And each of these 13 tones relates to 13 days and nights, which I have in front of me. I'm going to go through quickly. Well, the thing about these days and nights, there's 7 days and 6 nights, and each one gets, these tones in each cycle get smaller and smaller. So in the 8th cycle, they were 360 days, now they're 18 days. So previously what we experienced in 360 days, we're experiencing 18 days. So I'm not sure about you. I think I stated this in my last video. So I'm not sure about you, but I've been feeling the acceleration quite a bit. It's been awesome. And intense, really intense. I've had the most polarized experiences of my life, which relates to the period we're in right now, which is the second night, which began April 4th, and that's application of duality, which is the first impact between new consciousness and the old consciousness, and that's exactly what happened. I went to a holistic retreat, and I sort of, butted heads with the guru of this retreat, and it was an old consciousness going against the new consciousness, and sometimes it was a new consciousness getting trapped in the old consciousness again. We all fall back into these cycles, we get pulled back, we feel like we're evolving, breaking out of the matrix, and boom, we go right back into it. It's pretty easy. Our emotions can snap us back into it so fast. I'm not saying to ignore your emotions, I'm saying to fully embrace them. Don't let your emotions control you, just like don't let your rational mind control you. And so another concept to relate about this calendar, because other people have been talking about this calendar. You can find other people talking about on YouTube, but I just want to share some unique perspectives that I have about it, is that all 9 of these cycles end October 28th, along with the Tolzien calendar lining up October 28th. So technically you have 10 cycles ending on that day, 9 plus 1. And all the 8 other cycles of the 9 cycle fractal long count are running right now. But they're all in the 13th day, or the 7th day, the 13th tone. Well, the 9th cycle, which has the most predominant effect on us over the other 8, because they're compounding on each other, but the 9th cycle has the most predominant effect. That's currently in the 2nd night. So we've gone through the 1st and 2nd night and the 2nd day. Or the 1st day and the 1st night and the 2nd day. So I'm just going to run through this quickly. The 1st day is the seed, time of planting. Change from the consciousness of the previous cycle. Night 2, germination, movement up to the next day. This was March 27th, preparation for the millennium. Day number 2, sprout, duality, separation, world is polarized, light impacts old consciousness. That's April 14th. I had those flip-flopped. We're in day number 2. My bad. That's what happened with me. The world is polarized. Now light impacts old consciousness. Day number 2, night number 2 blend in together. One idea with the days and nights is the day is supposed to be more positive, the night's supposed to be more negative. However, in terms of it being a 13-tone cycle, and from what I understand about nature, is it always comes in sets of 2, 13, which also relates to iron, which is number 26. And there's a big significance to the number 26. Anyways, so the days and nights should flip-flop through other cycles, but again, this is also a 9-cycle fractal count. So there's asymmetry in this fractal structure. I think that's the cool thing about the golden ratio, and you can see that in the Christian cross, where there's symmetry and asymmetry, just like the human body. I'm not going to actually read this whole thing, because you can easily go online to Mayan Magics, MayanMajix.com, and read more about it, and really study it and see as these cycles progress. The next one we're coming into is May 2nd, which is the application of duality, which I was talking about. I did want to add, I woke up about 6 days ago, and probably about 6 in the morning, 7 in the morning, right after the sun had come up. I was in a basement, this basement, which is pretty dark, which is in Huntsville, Alabama. That's where I am right now. And there was one thing I heard when I woke up. The only thing I heard. September 23rd. And it was running through my head, and I kept thinking about pole shift. But in this, when I mapped out the dates for the new tones, where are you? September 23rd, the 6th night. Fruit ripens, man becomes aware of himself. All consciousness becomes aware of the names of God on September 23rd. That's pretty big. That's also what Gregor's all about, that self-awareness. So that's a little synchronistic for me. There's a lot of synchronicities happening right now. Take a look at Common Elenin. I've said this before. I think a lot of people are jumping on this bandwagon, making the connections. And yeah, I think it's going to happen. I know it's going to happen. The question is, how is it going to manifest? Okay, it can be chaotic, it could be physical, dynamic earth changes like never before, or it could be a tranquil transition, because that's how we decide how we want it to manifest. We got less than 5 months, I feel, for us to get control of our minds, control of our reality, control of our emotions, control of our love, and control of our fear. It's learning to control our own individual selves. I usually say I'm an anarchist, and the biggest thing about an anarchist is personal responsibility. We need to have government because we don't trust our fellow neighbor. We need that trust. That's all we need, is so we can trust our fellow neighbors and be personally responsible for ourselves and our family. And this is all going to work out just fine. And so, what I've figured out how to do, or what I've understood, is understand how a tree works and our whole ecosystem. Mainly, you have trees, mountains, and rivers and oceans, and which is the elements. and how these elements work together. And trees do something really beautiful. They're a breathing function for Mother Gaia, and how they breathe energy into our planet. There's been a lot of deforestation, and I feel it's one of the major reasons that the magnetic field is declining is because of the deforestation of our forests. So, in the name of Tesla and Schauberger and Marco Rodin and Walter Russell and the many other beautiful inventors out there and visionaries who put all this stuff together, I'm going to build trees. Yes, trees. Trees out of metal and other substances, and going to be replicating the designs of Mother Nature, but you could say a more beefed up version, to supply energy and support the environment. And what I'm envisioning is you could say making the Appalachian Mountains breathe again. That's how I'd like to say it. I want to see that mountain range breathe. It's never breathed before. Come fully to life. And it's completely possible, completely manifest, especially if we keep this love in our hearts and the vision that we want to see manifest. And what we really need is we need a lot of minds resonating with this, and that we want to get our environment to breathe. That's what I talk about with flow. We need to get the chi flowing everywhere. We need macro-sized feng shui. So what I ask is, come join me, and we'll have some fun. Isn't that right, Ed?
Penis.
And yeah, it should turn out good. It should turn out really good, and we gotta have some fun in this. That's the big thing. As I said this in my last video, because I gotta keep reminding people get really serious about what's going on right now. And yeah, you can be serious to an extent, but you know, namaste, motherfucker. And enjoy it. So if you want to come have some fun and build some shit and manifest and ascend with some kick-ass motherfuckers, then, you know, say hello and let's see where things go, because I'm down for anything right now. Fully mobile, and synchronicity is kicking up day in and day out. So I invite you to come join the flow with me, and I would love to find my lost brothers and sisters, because you're not going to be lost much longer, and there's going to be some cool things happening. And this is where, you know, I might wink, and you're like, aha, yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about, and let's go with the flow. So, namaste, my friends, and namaste, motherfucker. And, yeah, give me a shout out. Peace, adios. Oh, and my email, this might be an easy way, it's gregorarturo@gmail.com. So yeah, you guys have a good one, and enjoy this like fantastic, cool like energy the earth is throwing at us, the universe is throwing at us, everything is throwing at us. It's ready for a really polarized, dynamic experience. Ciao, my friends.